Coach Aston, Alecia Sutton, Brooke McCarty, Joyner Holmes. Coach, we'll get your thoughts on the win and then take questions.
Well, I thought that we looked like we had had a little bit of a rest this week. Our legs looked fresh and almost probably a little too energetic, if that's possible, to start with. And we got off to a good start, and then I thought that we maybe thought it was going to be like that the whole game, and we got a little undisciplined, fouled, didn't get back in transition. So I thought that allowed them to make a lot of plays in the first half that hurt our defense. But I did think that we pushed the reset button at halftime, and I thought our defense was really, really solid in the second half. We were good in transition in a lot of places. But, I mean, obviously we need to shoot the ball better than we shot today, and I think we will.
Questions?
Brooke, you ever recall having a streak like you had there in the third quarter with 10 points in less than 2 minutes?
No, I just fed off my teammates and tried to get them the ball, and then when I was open, they got me the ball, and we kind of took advantage of what the defense gave us.
Do you, when you've had problems with the three-point shot in conference, obviously, do you try to do other things more? You were driving a lot and getting some fast break stuff.
Yes, I mean, I'm just trying to do what I can and get my teammates the ball, and if the shot's there, then take it. If not, then create for somebody else, and I think that's what it's all about, is just playing as a team.
Aaron, our chain goes down, and Joyner went to work inside. What's the update on her, and what do you think Joyner did in her place? Because it seemed like you made a concerted effort to go to her.
Well, first of all, there's not an update at all. I probably won't have one until sometime tomorrow. But I think that the last few games, Joyner has started to assert herself and do some of the little things that we need her to do. And more than anything, probably since I saw you guys last, she's asserted herself more 1 foot from the bucket in the paint. And when we had opportunities, because they were widening out on their zone, trying to cover our guards, I think there were some isolation opportunities for our post. And she and Jordan Hosey, I thought, both gave us a really good lift. When maybe on a night that Jatari wasn't at her best, I thought they gave us a really good lift in the paint. But again, Joyner's just starting to feel comfortable.
Joyner, I believe was it Kobe Bryant you said your favorite player was? How do you get yourself to not be that type of player, a guard, when they need you inside?
I think just realizing the matchups, like the mismatches in the paint, and realizing that if you have somebody smile on you, then I think you can score more when somebody smile on you inside rather than being outside. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people think you're more efficient inside than you are outside. So.
Shug, the baskets at the end of the first quarter, the end of the second quarter, can you talk about what kind of lift that may have brought to you personally and to the team as a whole by ending quarters like that?
I just feel like after hitting those shots, it brought the energy up. We were kind of dead in the first half, so I just had to bring energy to the team, and those shots was part of the energy that I brought.
Brooke, you shook your head. The energy, and can you say what those shots meant to you as a teammate? Get the things going.
I think at the end of the quarter, it kind of just whatever happens kind of decides how the second quarter is going to go, or the halftime, or whatever it is, whatever it may be. But I think her hitting those shots were huge, because the one at the end of the first quarter led into the second quarter, which brought energy, which we needed. And then going into halftime, after she hit that shot, we all kind of hype, and we were just like, okay, come on, like, bring this into the third quarter. So I think they were huge for our team.
Karen, now you mentioned Jatari had some struggles tonight. Our Jan's hurt. How much confidence does that give you, knowing that you have another big, and Joyner looked very capable in there tonight?
I would say just in the, again, I keep going back to, you know, just how we've played in the last 2 or 3 games. I have felt much more confident and, I mean, pleased with our team, just in a sense that I think everybody is starting to practice harder and practice with more urgency than just maybe just our seniors or juniors. I think that the young players are starting to take their reps very seriously, and I've said this all along that I don't think there's a lot of difference in our post players. I mean, obviously they all have different skill sets maybe and different things they bring to the table, but I think they're all very capable, and if they would begin to try to treat themselves as a unit, we're going to be a lot better. And tonight that was a typical example of what I think our team should have a mindset as, is that that group of bigs can all bring something to the table for our team, and they did tonight.
Do you call certain things for Joyner to get her to decide? Or just part of the...
Well, I mean, we do have certain lineups that a 4-out offense is a little bit better for us. It's better suited for probably the lineup that starts. And then some of our lineups, say we go with a small lineup, then the 4-out offense has really been successful for us this year. But also that's because those players got all those reps running that offense. And I think for Joyner, it took even me a few games to realize, you know, I need to put her in some situations that she's comfortable in. And some of those situations are some of the offenses and some of the sets that we ran last year. So I think that was partly on me to get her comfortable in places that she feels like she can be impactful for our team, and I think we've kind of found that.
Coach, would you say everything that you've been preaching, everything, because last couple of games you've been caught smiling, so would you say everything you've been preaching and everything that you tell your players during...
I don't know if you saw me smiling tonight.
Yes, we did.
Really?
I caught you on camera smiling. So would you say everything that you're telling your players and everything that you're preaching is starting to come together as the season winds down and tournament play is about to begin?
I mean, we can't really, you know, we have a long way to go, and we really are trying to take one day at a time. But I will say that for whatever reason, the last, I don't know, 10 days, there's been a little bit of a different feel in practice. It's been fun. They've been fun to coach, and you know, you never know when a team is going to start sort of getting it. But I do feel like that, I mean, again, we're not going to be perfect, and we definitely weren't today. I mean, our assist turnover ratio was not very good today, and you know, we can shoot the ball better. But I mean, it's not as much to me about, I mean, I hate to say this, but like how many points you're winning by and all of that. It's like how you're playing, and I thought we played really good in the second half. So their ability to reset themselves and get back to business is better right now. We're practicing better, so it's a lot more enjoyable to coach because they're fun right now. And I'm not saying they haven't been fun all along, but this has been a process for this team to get to the place that I think we're getting to, and it's becoming really fun to watch them play.
Joyner, nobody likes to see anybody go down with an injury, but if Audrey is out for any extended time, do you feel like you've reached the point where you can help this team on a consistent basis, maybe as a starter, but definitely with more minutes if she's not being able to play?
Mike,
I think I can contribute in any way possible, whatever my team needs. So, I mean, all props to Audrey. I mean, she's been doing very well this season on the offensive side and the defensive side. So just picking up her slack, it'll be tough, but I think I can fill her role as best as I can.
Brooke, what's your confidence level in Joyner if she has to log more minutes?
I'm very confident in anything that Joyner can do. I think it, like we all say, it comes from yourself. And so when she's confident, we're all even more confident in her. And she can bring a lot to the team, like you said earlier, mismatches. Like, she causes a big mismatch problem when there's smaller people that we play, or if there's bigger players, she can step out and be a guard. And so I'm very confident in her. Whenever she gets on the court, I'm happy.
Are you still confident in yourself from long distance?
It's a process, so yeah.
Shook, you heard Coach say it, that you guys are getting it right now, and this process has been fun and practice in his last games. From a player's perspective, how nice is the stride you guys are hitting right now, and feels like you guys are peaking in some aspects?
Yeah, as she said, like you can see it in practice, it's more fun. We're competing more, and when you compete in practice against your teammates, it makes it fun and it makes it easy in the games. So I think the stride that we're on right now is really fun, and it's good for us coming into postseason, but we're just going to take it one game at a time with this and just have fun with it.
Shug, what have you seen from Joyner this season, and how has she improved her confidence since joining the team back?
I think Joyner has improved her confidence. I think her confidence is pretty high, just seeing it as her point guard and just seeing it from an outside point of view. She's playing very well for us, and like Brooke said, we're very confident in her. We're very confident in our team. So I feel like down the stretch, she's going to be helpful for us, and she's just going to be herself and contribute to the team.
Coach, any significance in a 20-win season at this point, or is it just the norm for your program?
I think it might feel like it's the norm. I mean, Brooke didn't even know how many games she thought we'd already hit 20. When I wrote it on the board today before the game, let's get to 20. And first of all, that's a great example of how this team is really not worried, which is a great thing. I think they're just really trying to enjoy, especially her, the moments that she has left here at Texas. And I mean, they're starting to play really hard in practice, and I don't think they're keeping up with too much about what's going on the outside. Again, especially her and our older players, because they've been through this and they understand. But as a coach, I will always appreciate 20 wins, and I will always pay attention to that, because I think it's the benchmark of, like, that you've had a good year. But I also now I'm beginning to understand that people expect that, and their expectations are a lot more than 20. But I don't want them to ever forget that's kind of one of those telltale signs that you're having a really good year and that you're having a successful year. And I just don't want them to get all caught up in what everybody else's expectations are. They're trying to meet their own, and I think they're trying really hard to do that.
What about that, Brooke? 5th straight year, 20 wins. Now you're at 20.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It just goes back to the hard work that our coaches put in, and that we put in every single day. I mean, it feels good to be prepared every single game to go out and do what we do. And so when you hit 20 wins, it's kind of a big thing, and I'm appreciative of everything that we do. They do.
Hey, Brooke, did you know that this is your personal 100th win?
No, I didn't.
I'm glad to let you know.
Thanks.
100 wins at that team. That's significant, Coach.
Pretty good.
She and Ariel.
That's pretty good.
Coach, you had 6 different players with multiple steals tonight. Do you feel like that's a result of your team stepping up on defense, or just a couple extra miscues from Kansas State?
I thought we were pretty good defensively in the second half, and I mean I think we turned them over 7 times in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. I mean, I was frustrated because we didn't capitalize on that, but we were ready to play, and they adjusted, and that little span of time in the second quarter was because we didn't adjust to them. We were expecting that to continue to happen the whole game, and they made some adjustments. But I did think that we were very active tonight, and one thing that I think they're starting to really enjoy the other side of the ball and not depend so much on whether the ball goes through the net or not. I think they're starting to enjoy some defense.